Malta scraps outdoor mask mandate for boosted groups of two in new relaxation of COVID-19 measures. Murder suspect Abner Akulina to be charged in court imminently, and junior college lecturers set to strike next week. All this and more on Lovin Daily. Good evening, Malta and Gozo. Welcome to another edition of Lovin Daily. Today was a major day for the island with some big updates on mask wearing and national measures. Yannick is here with the details.
Yeah, so the government today announced the relaxation of a number of measures related to COVID-19, including the requirement to wear masks outside. So the new measures were announced by Deputy Prime Minister Chris Fearn at a press conference today, and they're coming to force as of Monday. So the changes include the fact that fully vaccinated people will no longer need to wear a mask outside if they're in a group of two people. The 2-meter social distancing rule for restaurants has been dropped. Spectators can return to sporting events. However, non-frontline restaurant staff will also not need a vaccine certificate. There were no changes, however, to Malta's quarantine rules, as well as the requirement for people to have a booster shot in order to enter establishments like bars and gyms. A proposal by the PN this week for this vaccination requirement to be scrapped and for quarantine to be reduced to 5 days got quite a bit of traction online, with a lot of people coming out and saying that they supported it. However, government said there was no intention, at least, to remove the vaccination requirement. Chris Fearn did say that once more immunity has been reached, quarantine can be reduced. However, it remains to be seen. In fact, the Doctors' Union has also said that it agrees with the requirement for vaccines for now, but they also said, once we reach herd immunity, this can go. To be fair, it's unclear when we reach herd immunity, what percentage of the population has to be vaccinated, but it definitely does seem like this pandemic is going away. Absolutely.
The government did say that after the holiday season, the Christmas season, that they were very worried, as Malta was experiencing a spike in cases. Now that season is over, they're going to slowly start relaxing measures. So let us know in the comments below whether you welcome the new relaxation of measures or whether you think Malta should have some more extreme measures. And just to note the daily numbers, 4 more people unfortunately have died while testing positive for COVID-19 in Malta over the last 24 hours, which means that the national death toll, the COVID-19 related death toll, has reached 500 deaths. So just keep that in mind, when you're talking about COVID-19. Moving on to the next story, a story that's happening imminently. Murder suspect Abner Akulina is set to be charged and arraigned in court today at 6:30 p.m. Lovin Malta will be having a live blog, will be on the scene to relay exactly what's happening. Now, today, is the start of the justice system taking on Abner Akulina, who is the murder suspect in the rape and murder of 29-year-old Polish national Paulina Dębska, the murder that happened on New Year's that shocked the island. I think many people are still reeling from it. Obviously, he is presumed innocent until proven guilty, and it'll be interesting today to see kind of what line of defense his lawyers take and what charges he's set to be facing. So I do suggest you follow Lovin Malta's live blog at 6:30 today.
Yeah, a horrible case that, as you said, has captivated the whole country, and everyone has an opinion. There have been concerns raised about Akulina's mental health, and we're not sure whether that will feature in his defense. The police, in fact, they even gave a press conference where they reiterated that Malta is a safe place, and they're going to be increasing patrols around Cilia. So that's good to see. As John said, tune in to lovinmalta.com. We're going to be following the proceedings as they happen this evening. On to our next story. The Malta Union of Teachers has ordered lecturers at the junior college to start with industrial action, followed by a strike as of next week. The directive follows a dispute with the government over a new collective agreement for the lecturers. Talks, it seems, have been ongoing for about 2 years now. However, they have reached a standstill. attempts at reconciliation apparently have also proved futile, the MUT said. They've been issued with a number of directives as of this week, including not answering emails, not answering internal calls, not attending department meetings, and there's a whole list of directives which you can check out on lovinmalta.com. And the lecturers have been told that should no progress be made over the next week, then they will strike for 2 hours between 11 o'clock and 1 p.m. As of the 24th January.
You know, a lot of students right now have been reaching out to Lovin Malta to say what a challenging time they're having in between online lectures, physical lectures, very confusing, kind of circumstances to be studying in. I can't even imagine now having your lecturer not answering your email, like being ordered not to answer your email, not even hand over assessment marks as the last thing Maltese students need. So I do hope that this is resolved sooner rather than later. Moving on to the next story, you may have noticed a sudden increase in some of your daily essentials when you go to the supermarket. We're talking things like butter, cheeses, yogurts. And in fact, today, Benna has issued a statement kind of explaining why so many of these milk-based products have experienced a sudden rise in price. So this is, covering quite a lot of items: ricotta, mozzarella, jibinit, butter, fresh cream, yogurts and flavored milk. The price of white milk will not be going up, but flavored milk will be. And basically, Benna is saying that because of increased costs as far as exportation goes to bring these items into Malta, they're trying to absorb the cost as much as they can, and that's why white milk will not be going up. But unfortunately, a lot of these other products will be going up. Just this week, a lot of business owners did reach out to Lovin Malta to speak about the sudden increase in price. And we're talking, from kind of today to tomorrow. And, sometimes the price is going up by 10 cents, sometimes 20 cents, sometimes 30 cents. So this is a bit shocking because, wages haven't really increased. They haven't increased at all. But the cost of living seems to be going up for families as well as for business owners. So, it's interesting that Benna is trying to keep the price of white milk stable, and it says it's absorbing the cost itself. But unfortunately, it seems like butter and other, daily goods have increased in price.
Yeah, I mean, it's something we've been hearing about for the past couple of months. Something which is apparently due to problem with global supply chain. The cost of shipping to Malta. The PN had issued a proposal about how the government can address this, but there's also been calls by the Chamber of Commerce, other entities, who are all clearly receiving feedback from their members, saying that the cost of items is increasing so much. It also must be very difficult for people who have to raise big families. The increases you mentioned make a huge difference. When you add them up. So hopefully there'll be a resolution to this sooner rather than later. On to our final story. Nationalist MP David Take will be stepping down from Parliament. He said today he was guilty of a silly administrative mistake, and for that he has decided to step down. Now, just to recap a bit what this is all about, back in December, the Times of Malta had revealed that one of David Take's companies owed some 210,000 euro in unpaid VAT. Then last week, Malta Today also exposed that another of his companies also owed 500,000 euro in unpaid VAT and also hadn't filed accounts in 10 years. So following this last story, David Take resigned from the PN parliamentary group and also resigned from his position as a spokesperson, saying that he basically did not want the Labour Party to use him to attack the PN and Bernard Grech. He was defended by the PN. He also defended himself, saying, the unpaid VAT was part of a scheme launched by the government to help businesses during COVID, which allowed them to defer tax payments. Today, he has decided to now resign, despite being defended by the PN. The truth is, unfortunately, given that he has not filed his accounts, there is no way for us to really verify whether those 500,000 in unpaid VAT are related to the last 2 years and part of this COVID deferral scheme, or whether they span before that. So I guess that's the importance of actually filing your accounts. The PN said that St. Paul's Bay minority leader Graziella Gallia will be replacing Take in Parliament. She should be co-opted. Graziella Gallia was a PN candidate on the 12th district in the last election.
It's a bit interesting because David Take is a very particular man. He had a radio show, a very popular show. I think a lot of people look to him as a critical voice in Maltese media. He entered politics full on, and even though, you know, he's had to resign under these kind of circumstances, there is something to say as far as good governance goes. You know, as soon as this came to light, you know, he stepped down, whereas we've had ministers, cabinet members, shadow MPs, you know, all types of people with so many accusations against them who refuse to step down. So there is something to say for that. This also comes after two other pretty popular names. You know, Herman Schiavone and Rosalind Borge-Knight have both announced that they're also not going to be contesting the next election, have left the party. So, you know, it's a bit of a difficult time for the PN. So it will be very interesting to see, you know, whether they're able to get another strong critical voice similar to David Takes. That brings us to the end of today's episode. I do remind you that we are going to have a live blog following the Abner Aquilina case, so I do suggest you follow that on Lovin Malta, and it's going to be online in a few minutes. The court case starts at 6:30, so definitely check that out. Let us know in the comments what you think of the case and these other stories, and as always, from myself and Yannick, have an evening full of lovin'.